Kelly has had an interesting career. She's been an evening student while working full-time to support herself. Although she began college in the 1990s, she didn't complete college until 2005, when she graduated from Rutgers while working full-time. Kelly majored in political science and graduated with a 4.0 GPA as a member of Phi Beta Kappa as an undergraduate. Here at the law school, Kelly has received multiple scholarships to help pay for the law school, including the Dean's Merit and Alumni Scholarships, the Gugig Family Scholarship, the Fusiner Scholarship, and she's received scholarships from the Hudson County Bar Association and from the Executive Women of New Jersey. Despite working full-time, Kelly has been incredibly active at the law school, especially in appellate advocacy. A member of the Moot Court Board, she was the first-place oralist in the 2008 David Cohn Appellate Advocacy Competition and a regional semifinalist for the 2008 National Moot Court Competition as a member of our national team. She also was symposium editor of the Rutgers Law Review and deserves special accolades for this year's outstanding symposium on the future of legal education. She's been a TA for legal writing and research, a program facilitator for the minority student program, and a research assistant for a professor. I'm exhausted just saying what she's done. She's worked as a legal secretary and assistant during as well as prior to law school, and more recently as a marketer for a law firm. She's excelled, obviously, and doesn't like wasted time. And this fall, she will become a clerk to Justice Janie LaVecchia of the New Jersey Supreme Court. Kelly.
Before you all start to think that I somehow belong here, I have to say that in a lot of ways, this feels like a big misunderstanding. And so, like any good former law student and future lawyer, I'm going to begin my speech with a disclaimer. I want it to be perfectly clear that even though I'm at a podium in a large auditorium full of brilliant legal scholars and amazing future attorneys, there's nothing particularly noteworthy about me. The truth is, I'm just a representative of some of the most amazing people you'll ever meet. And a big part of me wishes that I were down in the orchestra section with all of my friends where I feel like I belong. But I would not be the Kelly Target that so many of you have come to know and love if I didn't make the best of this horrible situation. And so, because I recognize that I am no wiser, no more brilliant, and certainly not funnier than anyone else here, I feel like it would be really disingenuous for me to stand here and lecture you about things you already know better than I do. Instead, I've decided to take this opportunity to reflect. I wanted this speech to have some meaning for everyone who's here today, not just the graduates. And once I took into account the demographics of the audience, the disparities in ages, beliefs, gender, sexual orientation, and the ancient and well-documented rift between day and evening students, I was left with one unifying concept that I thought might appeal to everyone. You see, the one thing that unites all of us here today is debt. I didn't expect a round of applause there. Well, the more I've reflected on this, the more I've come to the conclusion that you and I, all of us, are in really deep. And for most of you, when I said the word debt, it probably conjured some horrifying thoughts of the student loans you can't pay, the mortgage you can't pay, and the credit cards you've used to finance your daily lives and your adventures in Barbary this summer that you probably can't pay. As heartwarming as all of that is, this wouldn't really be a celebration if all I did was talk about fiscal insolvency. So instead, I wanted to talk about another type of debt. Probably less tangible, but far more important and certainly more pervasive than the common usage of the word. I'm referring to the debts of gratitude that each of us have accrued and that come due today. There's a very selfish part of me that wants to be proud and pompous and make this all about myself. I want to claim this success for my own, declare that I am completely self-made and that I am mistress of my past, present, and future. Fortunately, there's a more humble part of me that silences this arrogant voice by repeating over and over what is a very basic truth that is no less important because of its simplicity. The reality is, I could never have done this on my own. And the more that I think about it, and the more that mantra reverberates in my mind, this proud day just takes on a whole new meaning. The reality is that I am up to my ears in debts of gratitude. And the more I think about it, the more I think about just how many creditors I have and just how much I owe to each of them, the more astounded I become. In the hope that you all will be inspired to tally your own gratitude ledger on this auspicious day, I've decided to share an entry from my personal karmic credit report with you. So here goes. The earliest and most profound debt that I personally owe is to my father. I'd like to be able to say that he's here in the audience among you today, but he passed away about 25 years ago. Though he was only in my life for 7 years, I just need a minute. He continues to be my greatest influence, and because of that, he is no less present as I stand before you. And to understand how and why that is, I should start at my beginning. There is something so fitting about this whole scene. First of all, I have to say this. I'm here at the end of what has been a really long journey, about to embark on what's going to be probably an even longer journey. And I'm standing on a stage in a grand theater. I mean, the view is amazing. But you see, from the time I was very young, my mother always said I was a born actress. Apparently, I had a few dramatic tendencies that I like to think I've outgrown, but I probably haven't. And so she used to compare me to Sarah Bernhardt and offer me a stage and an audience whenever I'd launch into a tirade. Interestingly, today I have a stage and I have an audience, but instead of Versace and Harry Winston, I'm wearing this gorgeous black muumuu and a pincushion on my head.